Let's rank the top 5 best units of each color, starting off with red, and as we go further and further down, I'm gonna just move this black square. But as you can see, we got the new Kaioken Goku, transforming Kaioken Goku, Ultra Cell, Ultra Hit, Kaba, and Merge Zamasu. Now let's talk about the first three. I would say, honestly, even Kaba is pretty meta relevant, but Zamasu, I honestly just added him there because there isn't really any other red unit you can add there. Maybe you could add the Daima Super Saiyan Goku if you want, but I think Zamasu might be a better pick. Either way, you can interchange them. I just put Zamasu because I think he's pretty strong, but Kaba is actually pretty meta relevant because you can run him on a blast version of Uni Reps with Evo, Rev UI. That's a pretty nice trio right there, so I think Kaba is pretty good. Nothing much to say about him. He's pretty solid as well. But then we get into the top 3. By the way, those two I wouldn't say are top 10, but the next 3 are definitely top 10. You can argue they're honestly probably top 5 on all 3 of these guys. So straight off the bat, we're starting with the strongest color, I would say. So Hit, with his Ultra Platinum equipment, he's a monster. We needed a strong red unit like this guy, and he definitely delivered. Some were arguing prior to the part 2, some were arguing he was even the best unit in the game. I don't know if I would go that far, but he was definitely up there in the top 3 realm. So he pretty much works on, I think most people would run him on a Uni Reps team with MUI Goku and Rev UI. That's the team most people would run him on. You know, you build Rev UI strike base because he has balanced offenses. His blue card would take a slight hit, obviously, if you build him strike base because his blue card is a range-based blue card, but it could still work out. You have the revival, you have the endurance with MUI Goku, and then Hit, you know, he can just snipe out anyone with his hit, with his time skip multiple times per match, by the way. Multiple times, at least twice. You can definitely do at least twice. It is pretty crazy. So Hit definitely deserves a spot. And then, of course, Ultra Cell. Dude, Ultra Cell is actually disgusting. I think I would place him like top 3 for sure. With the addition of the new Saiyan Saga Vegeta, like this was the unit that he needed to thrive. He always needed a cover for his type disadvantage, which is blue. So he's got the green, and the green has revival, right? Like prior to this this Vegeta, you would probably run him with like Rev UI, but Rev UI needs Uni Reps battle member to get full damage inflicted. So it would be a bit wonky, but you could still definitely make it work. But now he's got PO. Saiyan Saga Vegeta works perfectly well. Saiyan Saga Vegeta himself being a really insane character. So we're truly seeing how devastating Cell can be. If people were underrating him, I hope people aren't going to underrate him anymore. He's definitely one of the strongest units in the game. Best damage, one of the best damage dealers. You can argue he's literally straight up the best damage dealer, but I would probably give it to the Kaioken Goku or MUI Goku, either one of them. Those 3 are like the strongest, hardest hitting characters in the game. So, you know, Cell definitely deserves his spot here. And of course, at the number 1 spot on the red list, we have Kaioken Goku, the latest Kaioken Goku. This guy does insane damage. And it's funny because it's a similar situation with the MUI Goku, where, you know, part 1 drop, MUI Goku's a damage dealer. Vegeta also is a damage dealer, more like a combo extender kind of character. But MUI Goku, he does insane damage, and he has crazy sustainability, or I guess tanking, right? This Goku has nuclear damage, some of the highest numbers we've ever seen, and he tanks well too. Not to mention he has good defensive utility with his unique gauge. Like, he gets the damage guard up, he's getting the disrupt, and his unique gauge fills incredibly fast. I honestly think his unique gauge fills a bit too fast, because that is 3 hits. 3 hits is all you need for his unique gauge to fill, and boom, damage guard. He gets his disrupt with the card destruction, and he just keeps filling that up. And it's, for an insanely offensive powerhouse, he has really good defensive capabilities, and he pretty much fits on like the best teams in the game. Him paired alongside MUI, I think the best team would probably be him paired alongside MUI Goku and then God Goku. I've seen some variants with Rev UI, but if you want like a really solid strike-based setup there, you would probably run God Goku, but you know, Rev UI can work as well. It's just such a crazy combination. So this is gonna be the top 5 for red. Let's move on to the blue units. So here we have the top 5 blue units. It's gonna be Go Frieza, Jackie Chun, 17, Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and MUI Goku. Now, you're probably seeing this and like, why is Go Frieza below Jackie Chun? I see Go Frieza every match. I think as a unit specifically, Jackie Chun is way better than Go Frieza. I'm really not a fan of Go Frieza. Like, I just don't like him. He doesn't really, for me personally, my experience, I've, you know, gave him some Zenkai buffs, all I say, he just doesn't do the damage you want him to. Literally, all he's there for is the buff cancellation and the Rising Rush protection. Like, that is still pretty good value, especially if you're running him on the uni rep setup, and you're building him probably with MUI Goku, you know, Kalen Caulifla hit. You don't really need another damaging unit, but he's just there as a Rising Rush fodder unit, and it's not really anything crazy. I'm just not a big fan of it. I think his platinum equipment definitely did bring him some relevance, but it was nothing crazy, so I don't know. I'm not really a fan of him. Jackie Chun, however, is a really good unit. His auto counters are crazy. He does really good damage. And I know a lot of people don't face Dragon Ball Saga, but I'm telling you, if you do end up facing that one Dragon Ball main that has like all the best equipments, a lot of stars, like that team is still very scary. So don't get it twisted. I know you don't see the team that often, but it's still a really good team, and he's a core member on that team. Next up, we have LF17, of course, a very good option. He's like, I would say, me personally, like in a similar position as Go Frieza, but I would say he's a bit better in terms of utility. The main ability seal, I would say, is probably his most annoying aspect. It pops up so fast, and it's just annoying. And he pairs well with the Blast version of Uni Reps, right? With Kaba, with Evo Vegeta. You can run him with Rev UI as well. And you can even run him on androids with Revival Cell. You can run like a powerful opponent setup and leader slot to 17. Or you can run a android setup and leader slot Saiyan Saga Vegeta. That can work out pretty well as well. So you can run multiple different teams with the 17 and Cell, and it can work out pretty well, right? So you got the utility from 17, the defenses, quote-unquote, tanking from 17, the sustainability from him, the buff cancellation from him, and then you got Cell with the damage, also with the buff cancellation, everything like that, Revival with either Rev UI or Saiyan Saga Vegeta. I think he can definitely be a great third option on any of his teams. Then we move on to Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Still a really, really good character. I would say that, you know, Daima is slowly starting to lose its, I wouldn't say it's really losing its value. It's just going down a bit. I guess you could say it's losing its value. It's just not the best team in the game anymore. It's still a really good team. It's just that when he was oppressive back in his prime, Daima was like the best team in the game by far. And they synergized so well together. That's what made the team so good. The synergy on Daima was actually insane. But I feel like other teams are starting to get to that level as well. You know, Uni Reps, Saiyan Saga is really good as well. Powerful opponent. You can run these setups and they synergize well as well. So it brings Daima's, I guess, value a bit down. So that would bring him a bit down. But I think he's still a really good unit, really good last man standing unit. So he can definitely still put in the work. And of course, the number one spot, it's MUI Goku. I think he is currently still the best unit in the game. I've seen some arguments for Kaioken Goku as the best unit in the game. I personally don't agree with that, but you can have him there if you want. I think MUI Goku is a pretty staple number one unit in the game. He has so much control over the entire battlefield. You could argue that with the new battle system changes, he has lost. It's a lot more effective against him, because you can start, if you see a Kaioken or MUI Goku standing down long range, you can go for a charge attack, or you can start filling up your overdrive. Like, that's what happens when you see a MUI Goku just standing there, just sitting around. You've probably seen in a couple of my videos where, you know, MUI Goku just standing there, and I can easily catch him in a charge attack, and we can start a combo. It's pretty easy, right? But at the end of the day, he just does too much. His auto counters does too much damage. Green card counter, blue card snipe is disgusting. He has endurance. He has nasty tanking. Arts cost increase on his... Like, you guys don't need me to just read out his kid. MUI Goku, he's the best unit in the game. I don't think there's much debate over that. So that's going to be the top 5 for blue. Let's move on to the purple units. So you might be wondering why I have only 4 units. Well, Go Frieza is supposed to be like kind of like the number 5 spot for both of them. So just picture Go Frieza being in the middle here, okay? Just picture that. But I guess we'll bring it here for now. Yeah, this is the top 5. You can clearly see that purple is easily the worst. Like, you don't even need me to reveal the next 2 colors. We can clearly see that purple is the worst color in the game. And quick spoiler, Evo Vegeta is the best purple unit. He's not top 10. I don't think he's top 10. But I think we should also get rid of the mindset that if a unit is not top 10, they're not good, which is far from the truth. Like, when I'm not recording for video, the team setup I use is always either uni reps with you know, Evo Vegeta, Kaba, and Rev UI, or recently I've been using the powerful opponent setup / Vegeta clan, I guess, with Cell, Evo Vegeta, and Green Saiyan Saga Vegeta. Like, I use this Evo Vegeta a lot, and I can easily tell the flaws about this character, and we've already went through his flaws back when we did the top 10 during part 1. There's really no reason for me to reiterate those, but biggest issue I have with this character is, well, there's two: lack of defensive utility and his unique gauge just takes too long to fill up. Those two are the biggest glaring issues for me, and it just really holds it back from being at the number in the top 10 for me personally. So that's going to be that. I guess we started with the number 1 spot, but Go Frieza we already talked about. IT Goku, I've seen some resurgence from him because people have been using him, you know, with Cell and the new Saiyan Saga Vegeta, and that works. You know, that's a really nice setup there with a blast setup, yeah. And IT Goku, he still has toxic mechanics, right? Vanish, you get a green card. Lock in ultimate. That's 2. And by the way, his green card is AoE. Did I mention his green card was AoE? Yeah, his green card is an AoE card. So he has toxic mechanics. I'm not a fan of this unit. I never was since the day he was released, and I'm still not going to be a fan of him, but I have to point out that he can still do work. So we're going to keep him there. Did I mention that he also supports and gives death buffs? Yes, he does a lot of stuff, and he's on the banners currently, on the new Part 2 banners, so people are going to probably pull copies, get him higher stars because there's 1800 Z power, so you can get him higher stars, get a lot of limit breaks on him. So they'll see that he has some pretty good value, and I think he's pretty solid right now. Next, we move on to Future Gohan and Trunks, another unit I think definitely got some value with the new update, or I guess the new characters, because you can run a really nasty setup, quote-unquote, I guess, future setup or powerful opponent setup. Once again, the combination of Cell and Vegeta really opens the door for other units to gain value as well. A lot of these other blast-based units, like we've just mentioned, the Future Trunks, new Gohan, the IT Goku, like these guys are getting some pretty good value increase. So they still do pretty good damage. They can stringing a nice little combo. Trunks' blue card post Succession does a lot of damage, and of course Succession, being a second life mechanic that cannot be nullified in any way, is always pretty good, unless of course they get blown up by a Cyberman, which yeah, I mean, how often is that gonna happen? I doubt it. But then we move on to Tien. I think Tien is a very good character, very strong Sparky unit. Seemingly has if you get put it in the right scenario, you can constantly tag switch, constantly get that cover null, and they do a lot of damage as well. Not to mention that they also have revival, so it's a really he does good damage and revival. Like, that's a really good things to have in your kit, and you can pair them easily with the Kaioken Goku, MUI Goku leader slot if you want, but you can run some other setup. You can even toss in the Saiyan Saga Vegeta, and you can probably do pretty good with that too. So just having a bunch of double revivals on a Saiyan Saga team, that's just nasty. A lot of second life mechanics in this currently in this meta right now, which is I guess needed because a lot of these characters do so much damage right now. You probably need a lot of second life mechanics, especially when you consider you have overdrive to worry about. You have obviously Rising Rush. You got hits time skip to worry about. These abilities can just instantly kill your opponent, right? So you gotta have these second life mechanics. So they really definitely come in clutch on these team setups. And we already talked about Vegeta, still the best purple unit, but just looking at this purple lineup, I think maybe the Ultra might be purple just because, like, dog, this color is struggling right now, and they need something. Next, we move on to the yellow units, and as we can see, we got Ultra Majin Vegeta, Beast Gohan, Tag Kale and Caulifla, Kid Goku, and Majin Ku. So let's start with Majin Ku. Like I said, Daima is slowly losing its value, so I would say Ku also is slowly losing its value. A lot of units are also dropping with card protection and nullification of attribute downgrade, so his paralysis is not going to be as I guess impactful. It's still going to be annoying, obviously. His card destruction isn't going to be as impactful. You got these characters enter the battlefield with card destruction, card protection, so it's immune to that. So card protection, I think I said this in my last video, but it is so important. Like, a lot of these top tier units have it, and it really is a game changer. Like, don't get me wrong, that is a really strong mechanic. So that is awesome to see. So we don't like Ku. We like him in the anime, but he can get the fuck out of here, okay? Kid Goku is next. Similar to Jackie Chun, you're really not gonna see this Kid Goku that often, so it's really hard to rate these Dragon Ball units because I have them. You know, I use them every now and then, not too often, but I really never face them. It's just that one, but those one times that I do face them, they do good. They do good. So if you strictly value these characters based on their usage in PvP, then Dragon Ball units should not be near any tier list whatsoever because they are not present whatsoever, right? But it wouldn't be fair to them because they're still good units. They're still good units. Indestructible is still a good mechanic to have. It's also similar to, actually, you know, Indestructible, you can't nullify it with the self-destruct. So you can, can you? I don't think you could. So you could argue that Indestructible is actually a better mechanic than Revival. I don't know, just saying. But you could still try to catch them in a drop combo or something like that. That could still be pretty useful against the Indestructible units. But I would keep them at number 4. Kid Goku, he's still a really good, solid unit, right? Then we got Then we got Tag Killing Caulifla. This unit is very good. Very, very good. I actually enjoy using them a lot. They have really good utility, a really pretty solid kit, right? With the double disruption on both sides, having 2 colors, which is really good because you got, I mean, purple right now isn't the strongest, so you don't really need to worry about them, but being a green unit is really strong also. They do good damage. They were actually the 2nd most used character last season, above BR70, which is actually pretty insane. Like, MUI Goku was 1st, and then Tag Killing Caulifla were actually 2nd. So that's pretty good. It just goes to show you that they have really good value and they're a really good unit. So Strike Uni Reps is very strong, and they're obviously a core member on that. And then we got the 2 Ultras, Beast Gohan. I would say Beast Gohan definitely did get a beat down in value. You can even argue Beast Gohan below Killing Caulifla, maybe. I think kit-wise, Beast Gohan is definitely better. Special Beam Cannon is still stupid, but you can still get easily sniped out by hit. Cell can destroy you, honestly. So there's that. But I think as a overall unit, he's still better. I think right now, maybe his teams are the ones that are holding him back. You can run him with MUI and God Goku, honestly. That would still work out. So, I don't know. I think movies is definitely taking a backseat a bit, and that's pretty much where you run him the most, but Sun Family can still work. He's still a pretty, like, he still does damage, obviously. He's still a really good character, so not much to say about him. I think yellow units definitely do take a step back a bit because the red units are dominating right now. The 3 strong red units there, you practically see them every match, so so the yellow units are definitely going to take a slight backseat from these characters, and UMV is no exception because he gets cooked by these characters. Cell Rush, he's gone. Ultimate, he's gone. Permanent endurance nullification is really, really powerful right now, especially when you're going up against units like, you know, MUI, Evo Vegeta, maybe UMV, like I said. It's 17 if you go up against them. Like, permanent endurance nullification can come in really clutch against these characters, and like I said, with the protection of Saiyan Saga Vegeta, it works out pretty damn well. So it's nice to see UMV take a bit of a backseat, but that doesn't mean anything because his kit is still ridiculous. If there's just a slight switch in the character and in the meta, he's gonna be back. That's just how stupid his kit is, and honestly, the only way to power creep this guy truly is with higher damage number and damage guard number, because kit-wise, it really doesn't get as good as that. So that's going to be the yellow units. Let's finally move on to the green units. And as we can see, these are the 5 green units here. So Saiyan Saga Vegeta, God Goku, Revival Goku, Daima Mini Goku, and Vegito Blue. So honestly, Vegito Blue could be swapped out with other characters. Like, I can find, like, maybe you can run him with, like, instead of Vegito Blue, you could put Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here. You could put Super Saiyan 3 Goku, transforming. That guy's nasty. So you could run other options. But I just strictly gave it to Vegito Blue because he has the auto counter nullification, and that is, he counters out MUI very strongly. So that is literally the only reason why I'm going to give it to him. But if you exchange him with, like, the other characters I mentioned, it's honestly completely fine. But he's going to be at number 5. Diamond Mini Goku still deserves a spot here because, like I said, he's still one of the hardest hitting characters as well with his insane burst damage. You know, lock-in burst damage, it's still a crazy combination. And you can still run him with, you know, Ku and Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. It still works out pretty well, right? So don't get it twisted. Daima's still a good team. Don't get it wrong. It's still a good team. It's just not the overwhelmingly powerful team like it used to be, right? So we're gonna put him there. Revival Goku number 3 and God Goku number 2. These two are really similar in their roles. They are, you know, we have Revival, which is really good, but we also have God Goku with his buff cancellation and endurance. I will give the slight edge to God Goku simply because the strike-based teams you build with him are better than the strike-based teams you build Rev UI or the blast-based teams. For example, if you're running the strike-based, you know, MUI Goku, Kaioken Goku, you would probably run God Goku as your third option and not Revival Goku. So that's that. I mean, you could run Revival Goku. It just would flow better with God Goku, with all his attacks being more melee-based. So, I mean, actually, his blue card is ranged-based. So there's that. I do think God Goku does more damage than Rev UI. I just don't like building Rev UI strike-based. That could just be me. I just like seeing him put up higher blast numbers. And it might just be me, but I just personally prefer that about Rev UI, which is why I actually use him a lot. I like using for some reason, I just like using blast-based team more. It's just kind of fun for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just a charge step is kind of fun. Who knows? But I just kind of slightly prefer using blast-based team. I'd rather my favorite characters be strike-based. Don't get it twisted. But for some reason, I like using blast-based team. Maybe because they're more underrated than the strike-based setup. I don't know. That's just me. But God Goku at number 2. God Goku, you guys probably noticed in some of my videos, it kind of gets annoying fighting him because he's so damn good, right? He's a very annoying character. Like I said, he deserved this redemption. He was completely trashed on release, and this might be, I think, the biggest upgrade by a platinum equipment we've ever seen. I'm trying to think of others. The only one that comes to mind is G4, and maybe G4 might slightly take the edge, but it's just two different scenarios because G4 got his plat right before Legends Festival, and Legends Festival introduced a new level of power creep. So, you know, G4 didn't, I mean, to be fair, G4 lasted even after Legends Festival with USG, after USG's release. So, you know, it's a bit wonky there, but God Goku released after Legends Festival, so he had like kind of some time to accumulate his value and keep that value, right? And especially with the new design philosophy, it's harder to power creep these older units because they're not making super intricate kits anymore. So I don't know, God Goku, he's definitely up there with G4 as the two like platinum equipment or unique equipment merchants, but it's fine. Like LF platinum equipments, unique equipment, should be this strong. The last thing you want is for a one of your favorite characters to get a unique equipment and it ends up being dog shit, right? So I'm glad it's actually good, especially for a character like God Goku that deserved the respect. So I'm glad. It's fine. You might see me bitch here and there when facing him, but in reality, I'm glad that he's actually this good, right? And then we come to Vegeta, Saiyan Saga Vegeta. He is very, very good. I do think Kaioken Goku is better than him, but Vegeta is still probably top 5. Yeah, Vegeta is easily still top 5. You could argue even top 4. Top 5 would probably go like MUI Goku, Kaioken Goku, Cell, and then Vegeta or Hit. Probably interchange with one of them. Or even Daima Goku could make a spot in there. So that's probably how the top 5 would look like. But Vegeta is just like, he's like the missing piece on so many teams. His value right now is crazy, and I think his value is only going to increase from here. Like, sure, Goku might be better right now, but his value might increase as we continue moving on. I don't think he's going to get power creeped as fast as Goku. We'll just have to see, because the numbers are going to get increased for sure, but Revival is always going to stay consistent. His combo potential is really good, actually. His combo potential is really good. It's really damn good. It's like these Vegeta Blast-based Vegeta units are just meant for combos. But the synergy between him and Cell is really good right now, and he fits on like the best blast based team. He would be there with Cell. Third option, you can really mix and match their third option. You can run Evil like I do. You can run like IT Goku. You can run Revival Goku, Rev UI, double Revival Endurance. That is a nasty setup. Obviously, Revival Goku would lose out on stuff because he's not built on a Uni Rebs team, but that can still work out pretty well. Like Saiyan Saga Vegeta is just a great option to have on all your teams. Like if you're building out a team, you just toss him there and you start building around him. Obviously, if it's a blast-based unit, so it's pretty solid. I like it. So this is going to be the top 5 of each color. I usually like to do these lists for part 2s of the anniversary, and then finish off the anniversary with a huge Legends Limited / Ultra unit tier list. So that's how we go. We go top 10 first for part 1. And then a top 5 of each color for part 2, and then a huge Legends Limited and / Ultra unit tier list for part 3. So this is going to be the top 5 of each color. Let me know if you agree or disagree. What's your top 5 of each color? What do you think is the strongest? What do you think is the weakest color? Let me know all that in the comments below. Now we wait for part 3 to completely destroy the meta.